Trig homework 6 starts off with solving an absolute value equation. They call it problem type 4, but they're the ones in the form of the absolute value of ax plus b equals c. So when I think about absolute values, I have to think about the definite absolute value, that it's the distance of a number from 0 on the number line. And so if I have the absolute value of what number equals 3, I actually have two answers, because both a positive 3 and negative 3 are 3 places from 0. If I have the absolute value of x equals negative 3, absolute values are positive or 0, and so an absolute value can't equal a negative number. We have no solution. So, my L and my U kind of smushed together there. The same kind of thing will hold true here. Most of the time when I'm solving an absolute value problem, I'm going to have two cases. One where I'm equal to the original problem, one where I'm going to do the opposite or the negative of that value. So when I solve this, I'm going to say negative 2u minus 9 could equal 9, because the absolute value of 9 is 9. However, the negative 2u minus 9 could also equal negative 9, because the absolute value of negative 9 still equals a positive 9. So I do those two problems and I just solve them like I solve everything else. So I'm going to add my 9, negative 2u equals 18, divide by negative 2. So u is going to equal negative 9, and that's going to be one of my answers. Over here, if I add my 9, negative 2u equals 0, and 0 divided by negative 2 is still 0. There's my other answer. Of course, they're going to have you enter it in with a comma, so you're really going to say u equals negative 9, comma 0, and that's how you're going to see the answer entered in. I'm going to go ahead and move the board up here. So on the next one, before I can apply that rule for absolute value, I have to get the absolute value by itself. Since this section with the absolute value isn't by itself because it has the plus 9, I've got to move my 9 over to the other side first. So I have to go ahead and subtract my 9. And so when I simplify that, 57 minus 9, I get 48. Hid my calculator somewhere. So, absolute value of 6v minus 6 is going to equal 48. So from there now again I'm going to have my two cases. Either the 6v minus 6 equals 48, or the 6v minus 6 could equal negative 48. So solving that, I'm going to add my 6. 6v equals 54, and then I'm going to divide by 6 and simplify my fraction. And so 54 divided by 6 is going to be equal to 9. On the other one, again, I'm going to start by adding my 6. And so 6v is going to equal negative 42. And when I divide by 6, v equals negative 7. So v should equal 9 or negative 7. And both of those would go in for solutions. On the third one, I'm getting rid of my coefficient, so I have to divide by that negative 5. The absolute value of negative 4w plus 6 then equals negative 3. When I look at that, I say, oh, absolute values can't equal a negative number, so right away I know, oh, there's going to be no solution there because I can't have an absolute value equal to a negative number. Most of the time when you work with absolute values, you're going to end up with two solutions because of the distance from 0 could be the positive or the negative, but sometimes we get no solution, and if this happens to be 0, we're just going to get one answer because I don't have a negative 0 to set it equal to.